Welcome back to Third and Long on KCAT Radio. We're back again. Playoffs are starting. Johnny, how you doing? Zane, what's good, man? How you guys doing?
I'm tired, Matt.
It's been a long week.
We made playoffs, though.
We made playoffs. You made playoffs.
Very excited.
And the Broncos are still the Broncos. You guys, what?
You halfway made playoffs. Your Lions are in.
Well, I'm happy about that, but, that was an expectation.
Well, yeah, but,
at the start of the year, we went, the Lions are going to win the division.
It's still something.
It still is something, and I still like that they made the playoffs. However, the Broncos not making it, in the fashion we did, bummed me out, because we just gave up. But let's talk about some Week 18 games. We'll move on to the playoffs. You want to talk about? You want to start us off?
I would love to start us off. I'd love to talk about some players from this week.
Let's do it.
Defensive Player of the Week, Xavier McKinney, a 95.5 coverage grade, 2 interceptions.
Yeah, those 2 picks are gonna do you.
Yeah, that'll do you good. Jordan Love, 27 for 32, 316 yards and 2 touchdowns.
I was gonna kind of snarl at that, but he did put up a notable performance.
I
really questioned putting that on there because I knew you guys would say something about it.
But he did.
I think that might have been the best.
He did good.
Best performance stat wise of his career.
If you only have 5 incompletions with 316 yards, you're doing good.
Yeah. The PFF Player of the Week, Nico Collins, 9 receptions, 198 yards.
That game actually mattered too.
That game did matter.
That game and the Lions game were probably the most entertaining games this week.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I really liked watching the Texans try to fight that one back. That was a really fun game too.
Want to talk about that?
Yeah, let's start off with that.
Into it.
Do it. Where do you want to start?
Let's start Colts Texans.
Sure. So yeah, obviously we knew that after the Jaguars lost, that there was only that was the game.
Yeah.
God, I just love Gardner Minshew so much. I was rooting for the Texans and Gardner Minshew.
I said the same thing. I saw the man, the way he runs, everything he does, the way he plays the game is beautiful. The way he lives life is
No, I wanted this to be a very high-scoring game with Gardner Minshew just having fun. Because I honestly think a good team should go get him and try to turn him into something. I think he's so much better than a career backup per se, and I think it's kind of sad that that's the way it's going.
But he's loving life.
If he
lives in a van.
If he's the new Fitzmagic, I'm happy.
I'll take that.
I'll take it. Right?
I'll take that any day of the week. And dude, Jonathan Taylor had a crazy amount of carries. I think it was 30.
He could have had one more, couldn't he? Could have had one more.
188 yards.
Yeah, man, he should have had. He should have had 192.
Did you see how many touches the man had? He had 30.
Yeah, he should have had 31.
That team,
because with the game on the line, they give it to the backup.
All that I'm saying is that if you get 30 touches and you only putting up those numbers, fix it.
Yeah,
that's not right.
I mean, not a lot of good things.
This is best case scenario for the Colts. This team is good and they're young, so not making the playoffs and winning a couple games isn't what's going to help them. Anthony Richardson back next year will be huge.
Yeah,
they will win more games. Trust in this team.
I like the Colts. I thought they were kind of the dark horse to win that division. And they proved to be kind of the dark horse to win the division. But, I mean, yeah, they're young. Anthony Richardson's going to come back and probably do what he did the first couple weeks, and I really hope he can do that over a full season because the Colts could look to be like a 10-win team.
They can be, but what happens to Gardner after that? Does he stay as a backup? Does he go somewhere else? I know there's a lot of openings.
I really hope they give him a chance. Just send him anywhere. Let him fight for a spot. Why not? If the Broncos, if Russell Wilson leaves,
I think they should just replace Mac Jones.
Yeah, that would do it. But they already fired Belichick. Nope. They already fired Belichick.
Actually, read the news report, Matt. Mutually parted ways.
Okay, that's what you get when you're 24 seasons in and 6 championships.
And you get fired.
Yeah, you get mutually parted ways. Yeah, not fired, but it is what it is, right? Gotta say though, and we don't talk about college football here, but I want to bring up the topic really quick. Better head coach of all time in their respective places. Nick Saban in college football or Bill Belichick in pro football?
I would say Saban.
Yeah.
That's what I said too. I'm glad that's a consensus. I had an argument. Somebody said 6 championships is a lot. I'm like, okay. Nick Saban had to do it with a different quarterback each time.
Yeah. He also won 6, right?
I believe so. Yes.
In less time.
Yes, in less time as well. So, you know what? Congratulations, Nick Saban. He also retired. I was willing to put it in there, but I mean, we talk about man football here, not boy football.
Yeah, get Mac Jones out of here.
Get Mac Jones out of here. Packers-Bears, let's talk about it.
I loved it. Aaron Jones. Jones for 22 touches.
Yeah, that's what you guys have to do.
22 touches, 111 yards. Not even reading off the paper, Matt.
No.
It's not even on the paper.
I know. It's not even on the paper. What I will say is that you guys have to do that again during the Cowboys.
We do.
You guys need to beat Micah Parsons.
Well, okay, our O-line was also the best in the league this week.
This is true.
We let up 3 pressures and 1 sack. That's really good.
Yeah, especially for I don't even mean to call Jordan Love a rookie anymore. because it kind of feels like he's stepping into a veteran position a little, kind of like Trevor Lawrence, where he sat him for a little bit and then he kind of developed. But I mean, any young quarterback getting hit that little is gonna put you in a successful position.
Well, the pocket collapses on him so quick. I was watching the highlights from the game earlier today just so I can, brush up. Dude, he can throw in such a small window.
Yeah.
The pocket, there will be a guy right here where my mic is. And he's just
getting it out.
He looks a little Mahomey.
He does look a little Mahomey.
On that note, Steelers-Ravens.
Zane?
The score doesn't tell justice. The Steelers crushed the Ravens.
You guys did beat the crap out of the Ravens.
Jalen Warren and Najee Harris.
Yeah.
They're an insane duo.
Najee's scary.
Keeping the ball on the ground is the way this team wins games.
Well, because you can't throw.
Well,
18 for 20.
Also, I'm very upset with Mason Rudolph. Disappointed with his performance.
He's mid. I'm not going to lie.
He's mid.
He's just the Steelers' Purdy.
Cost me money.
Really? We'll talk about that in a second. So he's the
what?
Steelers' Purdy.
Yeah.
I would say I would say yes if he completed a ball that was anything deep or actually opened the zone.
He has the most 75-plus yard touchdowns in the entire NFL, and that is all just high-end.
Yeah, you know who did a couple of years ago? Jameis Winston.
Winston's that guy.
No, he's not. It's just because when you're behind a lot, you got to throw the ball real far.
Just doesn't know ball.
I think Jameis Winston actually is smarter than every other NFL QB, and he's playing the game differently.
Kneeling is dumb, so
Exactly.
he decided to score touchdowns.
My point exactly.
Eat a W.
He wants
Eat that
points.
W.
Eat a W.
He's hungry.
He's hungry. Well, you know, he's not that hungry anymore because they didn't make the playoffs. So
Yeah, but
yeah, I like.
They
Jameis
went out with a
Winston,
bang.
but,
They went out with a bang.
definitely with a bang.
Okay, but we'll talk about that really quick because that was also something that happened. Opinions, thoughts. I thought that was the right move.
I
The
thought
score?
I like it too.
Yeah, give him his one touchdown for the year.
Especially because you look at the sideline; those guys are jumping up and down for him. He deserved that touchdown. I don't know if he deserved it, but I don't think Jameis Winston should lose his job over it. I don't think anyone should.
I think that getting mad at him over that is stupid.
Yeah, I agree.
If you're down by that much, it is what it is.
It is. It really is. Let's talk Lions Vikings really quick before we move on to the wild card. It's not much to say. Lions did really good. Vikings had a good game, but I mean
Everybody, both quarterbacks played great. Other than Mullins' 2 interceptions at the very end of the game.
But those were attempts to try to come back in the game.
396 passing yards.
No, Mullins played really well. The Lions defense held him to 20, even with all those passing yards, even with how much they wanted to throw the ball.
Well, dude, what I noticed, he was fine the entire game, but the last 2 drives, he just he was trying to force things that weren't there. He threw a ball to a triple covered guy.
He was trying to win the game in a couple throws instead of just letting the drive happen and just seeing where it went and seeing if he had an opportunity to shoot deep. He wanted to win it in a couple throws, 2 or 3. Wasn't going to happen.
I think that throw was predetermined. The very last one of the game, throw was predetermined.
No, that was predetermined, but I mean, even the drives before that, he was making throws that were a little suspicious, and it was he just wanted to win the game.
Well, that's what you can tell. You can tell the difference between Nick Mullins and a real NFL quarterback.
Yes.
Because he folds under pressure.
Yes.
Every single time.
Yep.
It's not sometimes. It's not most of the time. It's every time.
And to piggyback off that point to what you said, that is the only thing. Actually, there's probably a couple things you could say. That's one of the biggest things you could say about Brock Purdy that I would go, yep, 100%. I like the guy. Cannot come from behind. Is not that guy. He's not Patrick Mahomes. Can't do it.
His stats when trailing are awful.
Awful.
I think he's got
and that's my point. And that's why I think the Niners could get blown out in this playoff series when we move on to the moving to the wild card now. Niners could get blown out here. It's just one of those times where if you get a couple scores early, maybe a kickoff return, interception or something, pick 6, game over. If the Niners go down 21 points, game over. They're not the Chiefs. They're not coming back from that. Patrick Mahomes, you can't count him out. I think you can pretty much lay him to rest at that point. What do you guys want to talk about first? Zane, do you want to have your little rant about the Steelers and how they're not eating buffalo wings and
I would love
this,
to.
that, and the other thing? Zane, have your fun, buddy.
Okay. Let me pull it up. The Steelers are 10-point underdogs in this game, which I think is a little harsh.
That's
okay.
Harsh. I agree with that.
Everyone keeps saying that the Steelers lost to the Cardinals and the Patriots, which is true. They did lose those games.
Didn't the Eagles lose to the Cardinals?
They did.
So
did the Cowboys.
What? So what?
Yeah,
Okay.
so did
It's the
Cowboys.
NFL. Everybody loses.
So everyone wants to point out why they're a bad team because they lost 2 games with a backup quarterback in. But no one wants to point out they beat the most teams over 500 in the entire NFL, right? They have won the most tough games. This Steeler team knows how to pull out a game when they shouldn't win. That is the best. That's what they're best at. And the main thing they've been doing that is helping them win these games and helping them score more points than they have all season is that they've been running the ball effectively. This team, when they run the ball how they want, is unstoppable. Truly. Najee has been looking insane. I think Jalen Warren's averaging 5 yards a carry, and Najee's upper fours. They've had 3 or 4 200-yard games in the last couple weeks rushing. It makes it so Mason Rudolph doesn't have to do a lot to succeed when he's able to run the ball and get 4, 5, 6 yards on first down every time.
So my feelings about this, and I like everything you said, because you guys are going to run the ball, or at least try to run the ball right up the butts.
Well,
that's the whole point.
That's all they really can do right now.
Yes. The only thing that troubles me, or actually really two things. One, Buffalo's hot and cold. If they're cold, you guys wipe the floor with them. No
They're
chance.
sloppy.
It could be a 14-point game like that. However, if they're on and they're good, your defense isn't going to stop a lick of what they want to do.
If they come out firing on all cylinders, you guys are...
If they get the ball first and they look like the Buffalo Bills, you guys don't have a chance. They're going to put up 7.
Steelers have a top 5 defense in the league.
Completely. But I think the Bills' offense could be number 1 if they would just get out of their own way.
I'm pretty sure Gabe Davis is out in this game.
I believe so, too.
All that I want to say is take a look at the opening game of the season last year.
Yeah.
If we see those Bills, the Steelers are toast.
Yes. But I don't want to say the game will be over in the first quarter, but it might. This could be a very easy game to tell which way it's going to swing pretty early.
But the thing is, if the Steelers can get momentum and they can get past that defensive front,
yeah,
it can go either way.
No, I think you guys could have a lot of 15, 20-yard runs, a lot of extended runs, just because the Bills secondary isn't going to catch you guys. Najee's got to put some guys on the butts though. He's got to really be a power back this one.
Yes, we're going to run this game, but the reason we're going to win this game is Deontay and Pickens. They have been playmakers, and they've been making big plays the last couple weeks that have helped us beat good teams.
But I like Buffalo's defense, and I really like Buffalo's defense.
I don't like Mason Rudolph's arm.
That's true too. It doesn't matter if Pickens is open by 20 yards. If he underthrows him,
but he hasn't been.
He hasn't been until you play a defense this good. And these guys won't let up coverage.
Their defense isn't that good. Their I think their bottom half in rush defense, and their pass defense isn't that good.
Their pass defense is much better than they're rated, in my opinion. I like their pass defense.
Also, you guys aren't bringing up the biggest issue here, TJ Watt being out. But
that's going to hurt, and we're not going to bring it up because honestly...
This is the first time in TJ Watt's career he's had 2 guys behind him that are both should be starters. They would be starters anywhere except for behind TJ Watt.
That's the exact reason I'm not bringing it up, because honestly, although TJ Watt's a playmaker, if you have 2 really solid defensive ends, you can get by.
Nick Herbig, his backup, won us the game against the Seahawks a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
A forced fumble in the fourth quarter.
I don't remember his name, but now that you said it
and then Marcus Golden, I'm pretty sure, led the league in sacks one time. Mm-hmm. He's the other backup. Mm-hmm. He's been doing really good, and his PFF grade is super high.
Yeah. No, you guys have, this is a really tough game because it feels like the Steelers should get wiped. In your head, it makes sense. When you start talking about it, it looks more and more like Buffalo kind of has something to be worried about. And you mentioned this before the show, that, if I were a Buffalo Bills fan, I would not be sitting comfortably. So this is at Buffalo.
This is in Buffalo. Also, it will be snowing.
It will be snowing, which is also part of the reason why I wanted to point out
it's a run game.
Pickett's not doing anything. And they're going to stack the box, which really means... I'm sorry. Yeah. You're right. Excuse me. I meant Pickens. Pickens ain't doing anything, neither Deontay Johnson. However, I do expect them to pack the box, and it's really just going to be your offensive line. You guys got to put him out of the way, right?
I think they should just feed Muth with screens and let him run.
I can live with that.
Muth is great. Mason does not like throwing the football to him.
I don't get
unfortunate.
I don't get it.
I think that he might be my 3rd favorite tight end in the league.
Who's first? Who's 1 and 2?
Kraft and Luke Musgrave.
Mm-hmm. Really, Kraft over Muth?
Dude, the man
Kraft's good.
Dude, the man's been posting trash talking on Instagram, bro.
This is true. Let's move into Lions Rams really quick before we get ahead of ourselves. Okay, who do you guys have? First off, let's talk about. Okay, so
I got Lions.
You picked Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I got Pittsburgh losing.
I have Pittsburgh's losing as well.
I have Bills taking it 24-17.
Yeah, I got Bills in a 1 score as well.
Not bad.
I know you have Pittsburgh, but I mean
28-21.
Can't be surprised there. Lions, Rams. Is anyone picking Rams here?
No.
I think they'll be close, but I don't think they're winning.
Okay, I also pick Lions. I don't think the Rams are going to beat Detroit. Detroit's defense is so electric. I can't really imagine Stafford getting a ton of time in the pocket, and I can't imagine him really throwing the ball a lot downfield. I just can't see that happening. And
he's got playoff experience, though.
So does Goff, though.
Yeah.
It's not like either of these guys are unknown to the playoffs, and the Lions have a lot more momentum here.
Yeah, you're right.
That's just my thinking. Although I see a lot of people picking the Rams, and the more people I see picking the Rams, the more I think that they're just going to be that one bandwagon team. That
One thing
everyone
that you have to remember about the Rams, every time that they're in this position, it's because they have one or two big playmakers. They don't make the little plays. They have a couple big plays over the top, and that's what gets them there.
Yeah.
That could happen against Detroit. It might not. I hope it doesn't.
I hope it doesn't either. I really hope it goes well. I really hope Detroit wins, because then we can play who I believe, well, we'll talk about this in a minute. Well, I'm going to skip around. Let's do Eagles-Bucks really quick, because that's really going to be the pressing one. Is everyone picking the Bucks here?
I have the Bucks, yeah.
You got the Eagles?
The Eagles are frauds, but I see them turning it on in the playoffs and looking like the team we're expecting, and I think they're going to play way better, and everyone's going to forget that they had a bad stretch in this season.
I want them to do good so bad, but it's so hard to lose that many games. You forget how to win.
The Bucks are fraudulent.
You forget how
also.
to be effective. I agree with that, but I like the Bucks.
Their
better.
division is bad, and that's the only reason they're here.
Well, one other thing. If they lose to Baker, they're never going to forget that.
Yeah,
ever.
no, that's a really bad loss. I have Tampa winning by probably about a score. It's going to be real close. I can't imagine the Eagles getting too far out in front of this.
Divisions are tough because the Buccaneers have the same record as the Bengals, who are fourth in their division versus first.
Yep. No, I don't. Honestly, the NFC South was going to be who got hot at the latest point. It was going to be who figured it out at like week 16 and was able to scratch out 2 wins in the last couple
It was
weeks.
like the whole division still had a chance going to last week. They were like the only ones.
No, it was insane. I got Tampa Bay winning, though. That puts Detroit playing Tampa in round 2.
Dude,
I have the bracket
17-14. Yeah,
Is anyone picking Dallas here? Or are we all praying with Green Bay?
You know me.
I'm not picking Dallas. I don't like them.
I got Green Bay. Their offense is electric. It's fun to watch.
I just can't pick Dallas ever.
Yeah.
So we're going Green Bay. So let's look at the NFC really quick. That means the divisional is going to be San Francisco, Green Bay, and Detroit, Tampa.
Yep.
I have Detroit winning that game against Tampa.
I don't have Tampa, but yeah.
Sure, you have the Eagles. So who do you have in Detroit versus?
I got the Eagles.
You have the Eagles playing San Francisco in the NFC Championship.
I do. The Packers do own the Niners do own the Packers in
I agree
the
with that.
playoffs. It's multiple years around.
Sorry, bud.
They're a better team. I don't see you getting a lead on them.
I said the same thing.
Yeah.
Not fun. But you know what? It is what it is. Let's move on to the AFC really quick. I want to talk. Let's go Dolphins Chiefs first. So this game's going to snow like crazy.
It's
it's
the coldest
KC.
game in NFL history, they're saying.
Casey's winning this.
Yeah. It's honestly who's going to run the ball back.
The Dolphins' stats in cold games are like incredibly bad.
Well,
I
Because
wonder
they're a hot
why.
team.
Well,
Yeah.
all they have to do, all they're going to be able to do is run. Tyreek's not going to be able to catch. Nobody's going to be able to catch.
Mahomes is going to look like the Mahomes we know in the playoffs.
I hope so.
It's going to be so cold. They're just going to run the ball.
I have to pick Chiefs, and I don't want to pick the Chiefs, but I have.
It's going
I
to
have
be a
pick the Chiefs.
low-scoring game too.
Yeah. So what this means, I believe, is Kansas City being the 3 seed will play. Oh, if Pittsburgh wins, they play Baltimore.
We own Baltimore.
You guys could beat Baltimore. That's the thing. If Pittsburgh wins, they're finding themselves in the conference championship because that's division games toss up. I have the opposite. I looked at Texans Cleveland and I said Cleveland wins and Cleveland would then play Baltimore
I
have
have the same
Cleveland
thing.
winning that as well.
That's a close game.
Yeah, I do, but I have Cleveland
They
winning
split
it
this season. Both games were very close.
That's what I
remember
mean.
right.
Who do you have winning the AFC Championship though?
Because I picked Buffalo over Pittsburgh and I see Kansas City Buffalo and they have to go to Buffalo. I picked Buffalo and it's Buffalo in the AFC.
Okay, we're on the same page.
And then Niners win it.
Who do you have in the big game though?
Yeah, Buffalo, San Francisco.
Buffalo, San Francisco. I'm taking Browns.
See, that was the biggest. I was stuck there the most. I didn't know who to pick there.
Flacco.
Yeah. Oh my god, it'd be so cool if he played Cleveland SF, which is just basically a remake of the other Super Bowl when he played as the Ravens.
Mm-hmm. But I want him to lose it.
Yeah, I think I want
okay.
San Francisco to win
I
it.
think he's going to carry behind talent.
I
I've
don't
been watching him, and his players are just doing so much, and he isn't. But the stats show otherwise.
It's true, but if you watch him, it's a little like, well, that was like a little weird, and that kind of worked, but I don't know how.
I was watching him against the Jets when they crushed, and he was throwing 2-yard slants that were going 80, and then he was
I know, right?
falling and throwing dropped interceptions, and the running back would pick up 12 yards, and he would just get a first down again, and he didn't look good, and that was his best game of the season.
I don't know. I like the Flacco. I'm going to stick with him. I still think he's got something in him. And I think the playoffs bring out the best in a lot of players, and I think Joe Flacco is one of those guys that maybe it brings out a good thing.
maybe it brings back a little fire that he didn't know he had.
A little bit.
anymore.
What do you got? I want to know your give me your playoff bracket.
Oh, I got the Steelers playing Baltimore. I was winning that, and I have KC playing Houston. I haven't beaten Cleveland. Big. I know.
You have Houston beating Cleveland, really?
I do. I don't think Cleveland's all that. I have KC.
Well, then
Niners.
Houston's playing Baltimore.
Is that how it works? No.
Oh no, Pittsburgh plays Baltimore.
Yeah.
KC plays. Yeah, you're right.
I have KC going to the championship, so it's going to be a 2020 rematch.
I just hate that because the Niners are going to smoke them this time. Very different teams than last time. The Chiefs were way better last in 20.
I don't have a
whatever
winner
it was.
yet for that game.
You don't know?
I wrote Niners, but I'm disagreeing with myself the more I
Why?
look at it.
That's insane.
I don't think Purdy's a Super Bowl
He
caliber
doesn't
quarterback.
need to. Because who's Mahomes going to throw it to?
His players will turn it on.
No, they won't. It took him
Gary-
18 weeks to figure out how to catch a ball.
Kadarius Toney had a game-winning return in the last one that clutched up that Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Kadarius
game-winning
Toney-
return. He caught the ball through the air, not out of Patrick Mahomes' hands. That's a big difference.
When the game matters and the season's on the line, I believe his team will play around him.
I just don't. Their defense has looked so much worse than it has before.
It
Their
might
offense is
be
so
more-
slow.
Everything from that team has downgraded. Ever
Yes.
since Patrick Mahomes has become this big star, the bigger star he becomes, the worse his team has become.
This is so true, and it's weird.
And I'm really, really, really hoping that he doesn't win a Super Bowl this year.
Yeah. I hope he doesn't either. I really want the Niners to win. That's
I don't want the Niners to win at all. I want Green Bay to win.
Of course.
Green Bay are the Lions. Everybody else, go away.
I want the Niners to win just because I feel like this is their only year to do it. They're going to lose a lot of guys in free agency next year, and it's gonna be real tough to win it
I
the year
don't
after. That's what the
understand-
Chiefs did. They put all their money in one little year, and then they won it.
Well,
But
the
that's all
Niners
they did.
didn't need to do what they needed to do this year. They moved all their guys' contracts, so they have a ton of cap space this year, and then use none of it. And next year they have to pay all their guys double salary because they're paying them like nothing this year.
Yeah.
Which I don't understand the move because they didn't do anything with the cap space.
No, they didn't. It was really stupid. I don't know why they did it. I don't know what the point was, but they've kind of set themselves up to fail next season and the season after, and it's kind of like they got to win now or not.
I love it,
I love it too.
and I hope they don't win.
Before we're done, can I add TJ Watt's the Defensive Player of the Year? If you think anything else, you don't understand football.
I can't say he's not because there's no one else I can say is better. And that's the reason
I've
why.
been doing a lot of research, and the only reason they say Myles Garrett's better
He's not.
is win percentage and eye test.
Congratulations.
And double team. And what I've been seeing is since TJ's a linebacker and Myles Garrett's a D end, when TJ drops into coverage, they count that as a single team and a loss.
Yep.
So the only thing Myles Garrett has over him, he actually doesn't have over.
Is that he rushes the quarterback more. That's the only thing he has over him.
his
He
win
goes up the
rate is
quarterback.
actually lower when
Yes.
you get rid of his dropback stat.
Absolutely. It should be Myles Garrett.
And he's ahead in every single category.
Totally.
There's not a single one Myles Garrett's better in.
Yep. So next week, all these are going to get done. We're going to have Wildcard Mania over. We're going to get to look at the divisional rounds and kind of take a little closer look. There's only 4 games to look at next week, so we're going to really try to deep dive into it and take some time to figure out what we think is going to go down.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see how this week plays
It's gonna
out,
be fun.
guys. Well, make sure to tune in next week for our divisional round. Hope to see you guys there with me, Matt, James in the corner. Hopefully Ryan next time.
Ryan has COVID, by
Ryan
the way,
has
guys.
COVID.
It's kind of
Steelers
a
in the
bummer,
Super
but it's
Bowl?
okay.
Hopefully he feels
Get
better.
out of here.
Zane, I'll see you next week.